Okay. Something weird just happened. I've never had to reconfigure my settings for where I record my videos on my computer, and I took a screenshot of what popped up and obviously fixed it, but this is 1000% a part of this message. When I clicked record, bad file path, right? So for those of you who don't understand technology, it basically couldn't record to its original file path because something happened. I was just clearing up space on my computer prior to this and just shifting some things around, but I didn't think that it would alter the recording path for my platform I record on. And immediately what's coming through is like a path has closed and it's like a new path is opened. And if that is not akin to the astrology that's been coming up, but it's like the configured recording path could not be opened. Please check your recording path under settings, output. Like that is what is coming up for you, where it's very clear that the path that you have tread up to this point is not going to be the same path that you will continue forward with. It is not sustainable for the amount of growth and capacity that you've accumulated. Okay. I knew this reading was going to be like this, and I like to give a little bit of a preface because even in my personal readings I do for clients, I want to, guys, there's so much coming through. My body is so sensitive right now. Like, so sensitive. I'm feeling so much in my body. Like, emotions are just, and it's like a soft, when you get into a river and it's like the perfect temperature, it's cooling on the body, the air is nice, and just like the soft feeling of water brushing across your body. That's how these emotions feel. They don't feel overwhelming or anything. It's just a reminder that feeling is occurring throughout the day. And I was clearing the energy prior to this, just continuing that. Spirit was very clear that this reading was going to be a little bit different than, I feel like every reading I do is different. I don't have a specific structure. You're stepping out of hermit mode. We're just going to preface as that. I don't know how long this reading's going to be. I'm just trusting. I'm just trusting. I had just noticed, clearly I'm going to have to put these two videos together. That also my resolution for my recordings have been under 1080p 30 frames per second. I don't want to be seen in 30 frames per second. And so this oh my gosh, to kind of bridge the connection of the encoding path, right? Just really observing the fact that you've had the pathway to have higher quality in your life, but you haven't been pointed in the direction of kind of shifting it. I'm almost seeing like your vision getting clearer, like there's nothing standing in your way. Now, to expand on what Spirit invited me to talk about in this reading, like was this this visual that I got when I was meditating, where I saw my past self and future self converging into my present self. And it was this sort of like Vesica Pisces, right? Like a Venn diagram where like my past self and my future self creating the now. And I could see the path of my past self having put in so much work to get me to where I'm at now. And my future self also having so much gratitude for my past self and my present self and like the steps happening in them, my past self, seeing the vision of the future self, the future self. So there's a lot of time, sort of stories occurring here. And we're going to be doing a Celtic cross spread. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that, you could look it up, but we're going to be pulling 10 different cards. And Queen of Wands is at the bottom now. I've been shuffling it in my hands. This is my first ever tarot deck, and that feels very significant. Also, this is a part of the message. Again, I apologize, but I don't apologize because this is how I channel. A lot kind of just comes through, and I know the right people find my videos. And before I kind of explain this vision, I do want to introduce myself. If this is the first time that you're meeting me, hi, I'm Izzy. I go by 8th House Mercury here, and I have another account linked down below under the username Astremia, which is where I deliver astrology. Definitely check out my new moon in Pisces video. We have a new moon in Pisces happening tomorrow, guys, tomorrow. This is filmed on, what is today? I'm like, Leprechaun Day. Why can't I think of the holiday? St. Patrick's Day, which yeah. So we're going to do this Celtic cross, kind of see where you guys are at now, past, future, what's happening. Okay. So as I'm pulling, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that sort of vision that I had with my journey as well this morning. I journey every morning. I guide myself. Spirit guides me. And I saw my inner child, and a very specific experience that I had when I was a little kid, which was, at that certain age where you just are living. This card fell. Whoa. Okay. I'm seeing the story come out. I'm going to pause for a second before I get too far into pulling the cards. So, yeah, we're going to pause here. Spirit saying pause here. As a little girl, I used to travel, through my neighborhood. I would just go door to door and go talk to adults because I love talking and learning from people. Now, if that isn't akin to what I do now, and I just had no sort of, I just didn't see the way people saw reality. As a kid, you don't have the storylines or the hierarchical perspective, or see people because of their skin color or their gender or their identity. Like, it just loving people because they are people. And I had a very unique circumstance in my upbringing with my childhood best friend, and she was the only Black girl where we lived, and she was adopted, and I never saw her differently, though everybody around me kept telling me to. And I remember that so strongly, and feeling that anger around that. And I get emotional about it because I was like, that, why, right? That why. And I'm bringing this up because you've always been that sort of individual to see people as who they really are. And I feel like that lens is coming back. It's like this final shedding of, like, the conformity of society, saying that, stick to the status quo, stick to what stick to what your parents tell you. And that is not something that you've ever really done. Like, when you're in your private life, you've never really subscribed to that. But in your public life, it's kind of like, I need to be neat and tidy. I need to fit in. So that seems very significant for some of you guys, a very, like, touching back into the energy of your true expression that was coming through. And I saw, like, these root systems of, like, the shedding of old roots. And then, like, it's been very interesting, and it's kind of reminding me of how the womb sheds every month, right? The old lining is shedding, and I'm seeing that, like, you've been going through a deep process of releasing your old foundation. Now, talking about what is happening. So your current situation right now, we have the moon, which is like being so deep in your intuition, like just being so deeply present in your emotions. Lunar cycles are coming through. I'm hearing the song by Melanie Martinez, of moon cycle, right? Womb cycle, I think is the song. Moon cycle, I don't know. But basically, like, you've stepped into the empowerment of tapping into the feminine expression, the moon. There's a bit of a deeper wateriness to this and illusion, but it's not in a bad way. It's sort of like almost everybody else is looking at you like you're crazy. By the way, I'm drinking my coffee out of my mug that has my past familiar on it. Yeah, I'm seeing a deep connection with animals too as I bring this up. I'd love to know what you guys are drinking, if you have a snack or anything. I feel like the tone of this reading too is a lot more gentler. I feel like I'm sitting across from you at a coffee shop and just really tapping into what's going on. Now, your challenge right now is the high priestess crossing the moon here, which is really telling me it's been like this sort of back and forth of like, can I trust this feminine guidance within? It really is this deeper trust of like, can I trust myself? Can I trust this connection to source, to my deeper intuition, to the intuitive waters, the subconscious terrain? Like, can I trust this? I'm going to link some guided vision journeys down below that might help you get tuned in deeper into this energy. So if you guys feel called to grab those. It's interesting. I'm like not even making eye contact with you guys because it feels like this energy is like, I can just feel you guys with my eyes closed. Like I don't even need to engage in the video or like witness myself in this because this is not about me. It's about you. And I feel like, Spirit just showed me with this moon crossed by the high priestess is it's almost like you are like at this tug of war between like what you've been told intuition is, what you've been told it's like to channel or to tap into your clairs, right? I don't identify with any of those things because everybody's unique. And the way one person may experience some of these things is going to be different than what you experience. And it's been this sort of like, I heard like what witch talk or like has been telling you like, this is what it's supposed to be like to be this embodied feminine, but your experience might be a little bit different. Like you're having a different emotional experience with this. And what you need to focus on right now is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. And for me, what's coming up is this sort of, and that's where I paused with the card pulling, because I feel like this is its own little story before we jump into the rest of this reading. And it's really this sort of frequency of not actually seeing what you've accumulated thus far. And that's what I spoke about in the beginning of this, is it's like, you don't need to. My Mercury in Aries is like, you need to. I invite you to acknowledge how far you've come. Like it really is this energy of like, how do we, set this straight, right? How do we bring this up right? Which is like you acknowledging what you've accumulated so far. And it's almost like there's this feeling of like, it's not, a part of you is like, it's not enough recognition that you've had externally, right? Just being reminded of the Hermit at the bottom. And Spirit's like, it's not about the external validation. It's about you validating how you have been learning to process your intuitive gifts, your inner knowing, you connecting back to you, your origin source within you, which you had access to when you were under the age of like 5, before you entered kindergarten, or primary school, whatever, wherever you guys are from. I'm getting chills. Jeez. Whoa. Okay. I'm seeing, like, when I said primary, I'm thinking of like the primary colors, right? Red, blue, yellow, like these like core foundational pieces that are coming in. And now, Spirit's taking me on a whole journey with the color spectrum right now, and they're just shifting it. And they're reminding me to tell you guys that you can only perceive a small portion of the light spectrum, our eyes. So that's where Spirit's really tuning you into the unseen. and into feeling. And again, like I almost am, they kind of like had some of these pentacles disappear in my mind's eye, where it's like you literally are not seeing the physical, tangible things, but you know they're there and in you. And that's that back and forth challenge that's happening with the High Priestess. Is at some moments you see your depth and your power and all of this magical, intuitive energy. And then there's moments where it's just gone, where it's like, where was that? Was that even present? Was that even a part of my reality? Did I kind of hallucinate that? Where you start out logicking your intuition, and it's like, well, those pentacles were never there, but they were there, and you feel them imprinted on your soul. Now let's talk about your past and what you're leaving behind. Ace of Swords reversed. This is interesting. This is like, oh, I heard leaving behind the need to be right, to have the answers. You're realizing you don't need to have the answers for other people. That has been a mode of control for you. And it's interesting. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I noticed this morning I have like a zit right where I believe my thyroid sits also. And that's your hormonal control center. It guides your body, and it really relates to your voice as well, this spot as well, which is making me think of this Ace of Swords as this sort of reversed. You're leaving behind your grip of control around how your mind operates. And also your self-doubt when it does come to how you think and how you speak, right? There's almost this sort of like lack of, you keep comparing yourself to the narrative of other people, and how, especially I feel like you are in this kind of realm of using your gifts similar to me, where it's been this sort of path of like, but so-and-so does it this way, so maybe I should do it that way. Like you're finally like, Spirit's really pressing you to embrace your own gifts. You're not supposed to be like everybody. You are supposed to be you. Now, talking about your strengths. I just got an interesting scent when I breathed in. It kind of reminded me of like an antique store. Oh my gosh, 3 cards just popped out for this. Oh my God. Your strengths. And I'm going to tell you this, go watch my New Moon in Pisces video and subscribe to my newsletter. It's the best way you guys can support me as a creator, subscribing there. I send out, I almost said monthly. Maybe I need to send some monthly emails, but weekly emails. Every Monday they hit your inbox to talk about the astro forecast, but I also send out new moon and full moon deeper dives. But I have a YouTube video on this upcoming new moon, and the reason I'm bringing it up, it's literally happening tomorrow when I'm filming this, is it's ruled by the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups came out in your strength. Underneath it, we have the 10 of Wands and the Page of Cups. Your strengths right now are actually like, there is this part of you that already sees like you're not having to carry all your burdens, and that you can trust people to show up for you in this 10 of Cups energy to help co-create this energy. And the Page of Cups is very much like welcoming in new emotional abundance, like that. You're no longer resisting it. Like, again, my mind keeps seeing that Hermit card at the start of it that I flashed at the beginning. Like you really are trusting the people around you. You've started to cultivate a deeper trust in the emotional abundance that's been coming in and has been proven to you by the people around you. And it's, you have had to safeguard your heart to a certain extent, but you're really learning like, I don't need to do that anymore. Like that's not necessary. Like I'm safe to be and express. And this, I'm just really excited because it's like, you don't have to carry this on your own. And the Page of Cups is really like, I'm almost seeing you having that, because you know the Page of Cups, he's holding this chalice with this little fish in there, and it's like you really have a beautiful connection to your intuition, and that fish is reminding me of Pisces. So we've been going through a lot of transits with Pisces, like we have Mars, and this whole week, guys. This whole week, Mercury, before Mercury stations direct, is sitting right on the North Node this whole week. And the feeling I get with this in my body is just like this opening of like, direct connection to God, and you've been witnessing that. Again, God is just a term I use to talk about spirit. Please use your own ad lib and replace it with whatever you believe in. Like, I'm just seeing the comparison of the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands, where it's like the 10 of Cups has the family, the kids, and the house, and the 10 of Wands is like, I'm carrying this alone. And you are really like understanding you do have the capacity to do all of this on your own, but your strength is learning like strength in numbers and like quality over quantity, right? You don't have to do it alone. Okay. That is your strength, and Spirit's really pressing that. Like, there are opportunities coming in. Now, let's talk about your near future. What's coming up for you? Ooh, as I'm shuffling, I do want to invite you guys to my Astrological New Year gathering. If you guys are interested, there's limited spots. We're going to be talking about this whole year coming up, additionally diving into a vision journey together to really like solidify that solidify the new moon that we're having, and also just like move forward with this Aries energy. Okay. Guys, please let the love in. Oh, I'm gonna have to block that out. I'm not showing that card again. I'm new to using my tarot cards. I'm gonna look at the time on the video. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to cover them or blur them or do something. Shout out to editing Izzy. We love you. Guys, near future, like, again, your strengths are letting love in, and love is coming in. And it, like, again, I struggle with love readings because I don't really want to like get your hopes up or anything, but like there really is, I mean, I didn't want to say it with all those cards that were happening up there, but it's very clear that like there is so much abundance coming in for you. And I'm seeing the mountain in the background of the Lovers, and I'm just like, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keeping me from getting to you, babe. Like, really, there's probably been a connection coming up in your life that is really, whether you're feeling it, whether you're in it, and whether it's just on the precipice, like, but again, coming back to like what you need to focus on is like your perception of what you've actually accumulated. I would love to invite you guys to like even do a list of like what's changed in the last year, like what's happened, what's shifted your trajectory. Okay. This just feels so delicious for you guys. And the Lovers really is just pulling in this sort of like abundance of love, understanding that love is not a finite resource, that it is never ending. Now I'm thinking of Zara Larson's song, Midnight Summer. A never ending midnight sun. Okay, advice. Environment. Thank you guys for your patience as I'm moving through this. Okay. Advice. Environment. Right? Hopes and fears. Okay. Awesome. Oh, and the outcome. Interesting. Let's clarify that. Okay. So, the advice we're getting is like literally using your voice, guys. The Queen of Swords. Like, this is truly like, let me speak, let me talk, let me share. Like, but it's in this way, again, with it being a queen, and I'm just noticing the little butterfly on her throne that she's seated on. There's so much going on. I love just observing the tarot. She's got this cape of clouds on her. Like, this is truly, I heard like, and I just split to the King of Swords as I was talking about this. So you do have this really beautiful energy that's surfacing for you right now of balance between your feminine cerebral energy and your masculine cerebral energy. This is also like a meeting of the minds is what's coming up. And or having a meeting of the minds within yourself as well. The advice here is to really trust your inner knowing. Like intuition is watery in texture, but intuition is also air in texture too. Can be very cerebral. Like intuition whispers, and you've found that balance, and now it's like what you speak becomes your reality. And Spirit's really pressing like, be very clear on what you speak into the world, what you wish to bring in. They keep throwing this 9 of Pentacles out at me. It's like it's almost like this glitching. I'm seeing like changing like a radio station. Like you're literally, you know what frequency you operate best at, but there's moments where you're like, no, what if I just go back? And then you get the static. And they're showing me almost like the old fashioned 3D glasses, right? Red and then blue. And it's like, you need both to see the full picture. And that's what these two are representing, the masculine and feminine, when it comes to your communication style. Now, your environment, we have the 9 of Swords reversed. I feel like you are finally coming out of a sort of what you perceived as a nightmare, as a worry. Like you're no longer worrying is what's coming through. Like this is retired. This is done. At the bottom of the deck here is the 7 of Pentacles. Like you really are seeing you're reaping what you're sowing. And it's really that sort of matter of understanding that you're reaping what you're sowing in your reality. And when we look at our hopes and fears, we have the 7 of Cups reversed, which this is all about illusion and whatnot. And also I heard like, it's scary to have so many options, right? It's scary to have so many potential outcomes. Like this is a gift and also like a curse in one way. It is your hopes and fears. And I'm going to pull one more with this because what I'm seeing, when I look at, the best way I like to articulate options is whenever you go into a supermarket and you go down the cereal aisle, and you look, there's so many options that it can be overwhelming, right? But what Spirit's saying, and I used to work at Whole Foods. Hold on. I used to work at Whole Foods, and there is a very specific way that we put things on the shelf, because if we put usually the companies that pay for the best real estate on the shelf have more money, and you're actually able now you're at a new frequency where you can actually get what you want. You don't have to look at the lower tier options because those are what are familiar to you, right? And as a clarifier, I pulled out the 5 of Swords. I feel like you're done fighting your options. Like you are ready to just like follow your instincts. Like you see these 7 cups, but you're moving in a way where you're just not overwhelmed by choice, where you're like, I can try something. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Like this almost feels like an internal battle, like you against you, with the 5 of Swords. And you're just like, why am I fighting myself? Why can't we just try some things? Now, the potential future outcome is, there's a card underneath this. Oh, I had no idea. And I clarified it. We have the Ace of Wands reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. This is very push-pull kind of energy that I'm feeling with this, where it's like your ideas kind of feel like they're at a standstill. And with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, it's almost like, I just heard only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. And I left this because this is at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to grab a different deck to kind of dive into this. Oh, the sun just peeked out. Guys, Spirit's like, you don't need another deck to clarify this. You know that your future is what you want it to be. And I feel like that's a scary thing to understand, that you are ultimately in control of how you respond to your environment. But it's settling into, I heard, the driver's seat. Like, you really are steering your life in the direction you want it to go. And that amount of responsibility feels a bit terrifying, because you're like, what if I make a mistake? But the energy of like the Ace of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands reversed is really giving me the, like, you can always go back to the creative drawing board. You don't have to stress about this. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed is really just pointing out, like, you don't always have to be so meticulous with things. You know, the future outcome of like what is moving through your life right now is really understanding that, like, you have the reins. You are the magician. You have all of the tools. You have everything within you to create the reality that you want. And the reality that you want, let me cover little guy. The reality that you want is a life full of joy and partnership. Guys, I didn't mean to do this. Oh shit. Oh shit. Queen of Pentacles, King of Cups. Doesn't matter how you guys identify, if you are the Queen of Pentacles, like, you already have cultivated your reality that you desire and you're sitting in it. And my King of Cups, you are already like deeply in your balanced emotional expression. Like, and like, you want this, you want relationship at the end of the day. And it's, again, I'm really hearing like, stop. Let me focus my face. Stop resisting what you desire. I feel there again is this sort of past perception around connection that's coming up here, just with everything that came out. And you are in, I heard, like, you are prime real estate. Like, you are in an energetic space that I feel you haven't acknowledged for yourself. Like, you have grown, you have changed how you relate to your environment, to your world. You are understanding your gifts in a way and like really accepting and embracing that. And this hesitation towards like trusting yourself, trusting your direction. Hold on. Had a little visitor. My mom said hi. It was good. Like, I heard like interruptions are good to break you out of the thought loop. And that's what you're going through, is like understanding that you are no longer in the space where you are being, you are no longer operating from your old operating system. And it's just a matter of self-assurance and reminding yourself you are not where you were, that you have abundance of potential and opportunity coming in, that it's no longer about, it's reframing that you're not making mistakes, you are learning and you are growing. So go after the things you desire, go after the things that are fun and inspire and spark joy in your life. Specifically, like with your creativity, guys, like try, just start. If you haven't started, just start. And when it comes to love, right? Because that's very clearly something that is present. Oh my gosh, I just split it again. Queen of Pentacles were at the bottom, and now we have the King of Wands. Like, again, Spirit's really emphasizing it doesn't matter what happens, what partnership you choose, what comes in, enjoy it, learn from it, grow from it. If it lasts till death do us part, beautiful. If it doesn't, you learn something more about yourself. You're no longer entering partnership or the potential of partnership with this idea of like, this has to be it. This has to be the one. You're learning this is the one for me right now. And there's abundance of love that never ends, right? Again, with that energy of like love, you've understood with your intuition and this connection that love is not a finite resource, that it doesn't end, and that you learn, that you grow. And thank goodness you got the opportunity. Oh my gosh. And we got the Knight of Wands popping out here when I'm splitting as well. So stop resisting what you want. Stop resisting what you want. And this Sun card really feels akin to your like inner child coming up as well. Like, and I'm seeing, my eyes are flashing back between like the Two of Cups, the Sun, and the Lovers, of like, you are becoming, you've had your inner union, and you are now becoming the love child of your inner union. I know that seems a little bit interesting, but it's like you're now like operating completely differently. And you get to enter life in this new found energy. Yeah, you've surrendered. The Hangman coming out. It's like surrender, 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 surrender. And with this new moon that's coming up, please let yourself dream bigger. Okay? I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, amazing. I would love to know how this lands. Just commenting below. The best way you guys can support me, of course, liking, subscribing, commenting, and also subscribing to my newsletter is like the best way that you guys can support me as a creator. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. See ya.